Selling your home and buying a home at the same time can be a little tricky. There are several moving parts. I'm going to go over them briefly, the main bullet points. We did a podcast episode on this a while ago, but I wanted to put a video out just trying to wrap it up quickly and neatly and give you kind of like a bullet point reference as to the things to think about if you're making this move. So I'm going to assume you're moving to let's say you're moving to a new city for a job. Let's say you're moving to Nashville from somewhere else in the country. So we'll just use that as an example. First thing you want to do is probably talk to a lender and see if you can qualify to purchase first before you sell. A lot of people think that's not possible, but you'd be surprised. You could qualify for a second mortgage while carrying your first one. So check that out. If that's a possibility, then this might be easier than you think. You just go buy the house, move there, and then turn around and then list your current property for sale. You don't need 20% down. Even though it's a second property, it's going to become your primary residence. So you can probably buy, I did this myself. You can buy your next home with 3% down as long as you have the 3% down and you have the closing costs and then you have money to carry both properties for a few months. It's totally doable. So that's probably step one, to look in to see if you could do that. But this video is going to be more focused on, let's say you want to take these proceeds out of your current home and you want to use them for your purchase and you don't want to move twice. So these are the things to think about. By the way, my name is Bill Ball. I'm a realtor with Compass Philly, and I've been selling property here for 17 years. So step one for me would be check out the inventory in the city that you're moving to. So let's say you are moving to Nashville for work. Pull up your favorite real estate website, Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, Compass.com, and do some searches in Nashville and look in your price range and do filters on beds and baths and square footage and see what's available. Hopefully you're seeing enough inventory there that gives you some confidence that this is possible, because part of this strategy on how to do this is going to depend on market conditions. So if you're doing some searches and you're not seeing any property for sale, you might be wanting to rent for a year or finding some short-term rentals. But Nashville's a pretty big area. I just did a search here. I looked at, between 400,000 and 500,000, minimum 3 beds. There was like 200 homes. Obviously, you want to narrow that down to the actual area you're looking at. Maybe the zip code might be a good start. If you're not seeing any properties in the little neighborhood or area that you're looking, just expand your search. Look around there. See if there's other inventory that's doable. If you're seeing a good number of homes that you wouldn't mind purchasing, that's a good start. So anyway, that's just to get you mentally prepared for this. Checking out the inventory in the area that you're moving. The next step would be to get a realtor in your neighborhood, in your area, to come and give you what's called a home valuation. You can get 2 or 3 realtors to come through. You contact them. You tell them you need a home valuation. You set up an appointment. They come by. They walk your property. And they give you an idea, an estimation of value, what they think your home would sell for and how long. And I can help you with this. And this is part of the reason I'm doing this video, is I am offering free consultations to anyone who needs help with this process, is looking for realtors in their area or looking for realtors in neighborhoods that they're moving to, cities that they're moving to. So we could do a consultation and I'll set you up with realtors in your area and realtors on your purchase side. And that's totally free of charge. So once you get an idea of value, you're going to want to list your home for sale. That's going to be the first step. You have to get your home listed for sale. We have to find a buyer for it. We have to get it under contract before you start making offers on properties in Nashville. So you might be thinking, why can't I just find a home in Nashville and put offers in and make it contingent upon selling my home. Well, you can do that, but the reality is the sellers in Nashville are not going to want to take your offer if it's contingent upon you selling your home first. It's really rare. The home would have to be on the market for a really long time with no activity and no other buyer prospects, and that's usually not a good sign. So you want to get your home listed for sale first. While it's listed for sale and buyers are coming by and they're looking at your property, you're going to be talking to a realtor in Nashville, and you can interview a couple of them, find one you like, and they're going to start sending you properties for sale. They'll set you up on a search, and those properties will start coming in. So while buyers are looking at your house, you're looking at homes in Nashville, trying to get an idea of stuff that you like. Start saving them as favorites. After you find a buyer for your property, your realtor and you are going to negotiate the terms of this sale. Price, settlement date. But actually the most important part of this, besides price obviously, is going to be the settlement date. Most buyers are going to want to settle within 30 to 35 days. You're going to need more time than that. So you need to negotiate a 60-day settlement. You're going to need that extra time for once you're under agreement, you need to start looking at homes in Nashville. So we need that extra 30 days. The first 10 to 14 days is pretty standard once you're under agreement where your buyer is going to have a home inspection on your property. So keep in mind, just because you have a contract, you didn't sell the house yet. The buyer is going to go through home inspections and to determine whether or not they still want the property. Once you get through that first phase of the agreement of sale, which is the home inspection contingency, once you get past that, you're pretty much, now you can start submitting offers on properties in Nashville and just use what's called a settlement contingency on your home. That lets the seller and the seller agent in Nashville know your home is already on the market, you already found a buyer, you already passed inspection, and you're just waiting for settlement. There is an appraisal process in there as well if a buyer is getting a mortgage, but your realtor will know for your sale side how you're priced and what your sales price actually is, and if there is going to be an appraisal problem, your realtor might hold you up from going and start bidding until we get through the appraisal process on your sales side. But they'll know that going in, whether or not you're going to have an appraisal problem. So let's say you get through the inspection period on your home. Now you want to start planning to get out to Nashville. So you want to get down there. You want to set an appointment up with your realtor, find a list of properties that you like, tell them you're coming into town, get down there. You're going to start home touring there, hopefully find one while you're there for the weekend, and submit an offer. Now, what you can do is try to line up that settlement date with the settlement date of your sale side. Your buyer, hopefully, on your property is going to be flexible with settlement date. That's going to be one of the things you're going to want to talk about and negotiate with them when they submit the offer on your property. Is you want that 60-day settlement, but you're also going to ask them, if we find something sooner, are you cool with settling sooner? So make sure that they're flexible with that settlement date. Most buyers are. Now, the seller in Nashville, what you want to do is when you're negotiating your agreement of sale for that property, you want to just try to align the settlement dates with your home sale. Obviously, you have to sell your home first, and you can do it on the same day. I've done it. And what we do is, on your sale side, you schedule settlement for the morning, and then you schedule your buy side in the afternoon. And you might be thinking, well, how am I going to do that if I live in California? I got to get to Nashville. How does that work? You don't have to go to settlement on your sale side. You really need to be there on your buy side. You don't have to be there on your sell side. You'll sign all those documents early on your sale side. And the only thing left will be the settlement sheet, which you can sign via DocuSign or have your agent that sold your property go to settlement for you in the morning. and represent you at the settlement table and just sign the settlement sheet. And we'll have that title company wire your proceeds in the morning. Once your house closes, they can wire your proceeds right to the title company on your buy side in Nashville for your afternoon settlement. So you can already pack up and move and head down to Nashville for settlement and not be in your current city for settlement. That's how you can sell your home and buy a home at the same time without moving twice. Now, there could be a situation where you can't line up the settlement dates, but if you can get them close, you can always do an Airbnb or a hotel for a few days, keep your belongings in a truck or one of those pods that you parked in front of your house and have them move it to the new location. This is just like an overview, guys, to give you, get you thinking on what the process is. If you have questions, you can reach out to me directly. My contact information will be in the show notes. I'll put my email in there. I'll put a Google form in there if you just want to answer a couple questions for me. And like I said, I'm happy to help. I could help you with arranging interviews for realtors on your sale side and on your buy side. I'll send you 3 realtors. You pick one. And then I'll even contact the other 2 realtors that you're not hiring, and I'll tell them, sorry, but the client's going with another realtor, and I'll keep them in mind for the next one. I'll do the same thing on your buy side. You can interview 3 via phone, FaceTime, Zoom, whatever, and then I'll contact the other 2 that you're not using and say, thank you very much. We selected another realtor. So I'm happy to do that. All this is free to you. I just ask that you let me help you find a realtor, and that's how I actually get paid. We do referrals between realtors all throughout the country. I've done this many times. I've had clients come in from California, actually thought they were moving here to Philly, wind up in Delaware. I found them a realtor in California to sell their property, and then once I found out they were moving to Delaware and not Philly, I got them a Delaware realtor. Everything's fine. No cost to you. So if you have any questions, let me know. You can leave them in the comment section below. You can email me directly. I'm happy to help. We did a podcast episode on this subject. I'll try to link that video to this video, but that's just going to be audio. So if you just so you can always just download our podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts, and this episode will be there as well. Actually, the full episode with my partner, Kristen, and we kind of have a nice back and forth, and it's a lot smoother than what I just did here. So anyway, guys, thank you. And if you have any questions, reach out, and best of luck.